Hello there, it's Paul here and welcome everyone. Money boxes. I have made one before, a very long time ago. I believe it was also my very first segmented project, and it was made out of pine. The cap in the base and the opening on the top for where you put your money in the slot were, I think, made from sapele, so to give it that contrast. And I finished it all off with shellac. I remember that because I spent ages going over to make it nice and smooth and shiny as well. On the lathe here I've got a piece of what I believe is Sportwood beech. I put a tenon on one end first of all. Once I've got that mounted into the chuck, I could then put a mortice on the other end, which then has become the base here. That has actually been finished off. I've then hollowed the inside out, and what I did was I've left it on that chuck. This was on the other chuck, and I therefore then made the slot area to go in the top. I deliberately cut this piece flat and I drilled a 3mm hole in the middle, so that what I could do then was take that off. It had a nice flat surface, take it to the scroll saw and cut out the slot so it's nice and even. And that has now been glued into the top here with ordinary wood PVA glue. There is no cap in the bottom either, so this is actually a sealed money box. Now you may think, why on earth would you make a sealed money box? And it's actually something I've seen around before, and you may well have seen it and not actually realised. I know that we've got a garden centre in Carlisle. It's one of those fairly large garden centres which sells all sorts of bits and pieces, and they have money boxes in there. I think they're sort of like made out of pottery of some sort, which don't have any cap to empty them. So therefore they're a single use money box. The idea is you fill them up, and then when you get to that point and when you want to get to the money, you've got to basically smash open the money box. So yes, I don't want to smash this one up, take a hammer to it or anything like that. The idea is that I want it as a secure money box so that money goes in and you don't take it out until you really want to. When you want to finally take it out, I will probably then just drill a hole in the top so that you can get all the money out once it's empty. And this is the reason for the mortise on the bottom. I can remount it on the lathe, I can turn this way and probably just make another slot to go in the top when I want to use it again. So what I'm about to do now is I'm actually just going to do this final shaping of the slot. I want to round off the edges on the top here, it will, so that it stands out as like a secondary piece, and then I will then scoop out the centre so that it's a curved sort of like recess as you go into the slot as well. I've sanded this to 400. I've got a bit of tear out there, but it isn't too bad, but it was expected with this wood anyway. And I'm just going to give this some sanding sealer, which really just brings out all the colours in this wood. And for finish wise, I'm using one coat of wood wax 22 and one coat of the microcrystalline wax, both from Chestnut Products. Now I gave this 2 coats of sanding sealer in the end, just knocking it back with the 400 grit each time, and I've given it a coat of wood wax 22, which I'm now just about to buff this off. Good thing about this is that literally as soon as you put it on, you can buff it out. Whereas with the microcrystalline wax, which is what I'll put on next, You need to ideally leave it about 20 minutes. So I'll just leave that to set, and just for 5 minutes, then I'll get the microcrystalline wax on. This set a coat of microcrystalline wax as well, which I've just left for about 20 minutes, and I'll just buff this off. Now that's all finished. Now just to recap on this, the walls on this are probably around about between 3 to 5 mil thick. I've got a mortice in the bottom so that I can remount this on the lathe when I need to. Now the top on here, what I've done is that inside is actually domed as well, so it's domed like that in this sort of shape. So the reason for that is, say for example it was domed like that inside, so that it was in that shape. When you lay if you turned it upside down, when you've got your money in there, you've got more chance of the money sort of getting in the slot, and then a bit of a shake, and then you could then shake the money out. But by putting a dome in there, what I've done is it's less chance that the money could actually get anywhere near the slot in order to shake it out. So it just adds sort of almost like an extra bit of security feature for it, so that people can't get the money out very easily. Walls on the top here as well are probably a good 5 mil thick as well. So again, it's less chance of being able to get things in there. The slot, I've deliberately measured sort of coins. Now the £1 coin is our thickest coin, so that's wide enough to drop in there. And the £2 coin is actually our widest coin, so again the slot in there is enough room for any size coin to drop through. For finish wise, as you see me, I gave this 2 coats of sanding sealer, 1 coat of wood wax 22, let that cool off. Once it'd been buffed off, microcrystalline wax, let it set there for 20 minutes, and then finally buff it off, and it's come up with a nice finish on there. Now the idea is, when this fills up, I will just drill out the top so that I can empty it out when I want to. Then, because of that mortise on there, I can remount it on the lathe, take all this top away, make another one, and glue another one on. And it doesn't matter even if it's totally different wood. Sometimes I mean even a contrasting piece of wood, so another time I could even pick up a piece of speedy on there and it would just contrast in there and it would fit in nicely. Now hopefully this video's sort of been of use to you, something you may never have thought of, especially doing a money box with no way of getting the money out. And like I say, next time you visit, especially like a large garden centre in the UK, look out for them where they sell those sort of things, and just, if you see the money boxes, look to see if they're one of the ones that are single use only. So next thing is stick my money in, and that's it. Thanks a lot for watching.